Picture this. You rise each dawn, tasked to haul immense stones, shape them, then meticulously stack them, brick by painful brick. Weeks, months, even years melt into this colossal effort, every muscle aching, until your grand tower finally stands tall, a monument to your sheer will. Then, your master commands, destroy it. Now, begin again. Utterly senseless, right? Who wouldn't break? Who wouldn't quit? Yet, this isn't madness. It's the astounding journey of a man who found not futility, but an indomitable spirit, forging true strength through endless patient toil. Welcome, friend, to our journey. Who among us hasn't faced a challenge that seemed utterly unending? A goal taking forever, a problem without a solution, or perhaps a learning process demanding more repetition than our mind or body felt capable of. In those moments, the urge to just throw in the towel, to simply give up, feels almost irresistible, doesn't it? That gnawing frustration and impatience are very real companions. Today, we're diving deep into one of Tibetan Buddhism's most inspiring stories to explore a concept that, once truly grasped, can utterly transform how you navigate life's inevitable ups and downs. Kshanti, the profound virtue of patience. But please, let's ditch the notion of patience as mere passive waiting. That's a common misconception we'll unravel together. In Buddhism, particularly within Milarepa's epic tale, Kshanti is an active, formidable virtue. It's the profound capacity to endure adversity, profound suffering, and crushing frustration without allowing anger or despair to take root. It means keeping your mind clear, your spirit calm, and your ultimate purpose firmly in sight, no matter how tough things get. Through the legendary accounts of Milarepa and his formidable guru Marpa, we'll uncover precisely how this active patience can radically transform what we often label as wasted time or pointless suffering. You'll see how these seemingly negative experiences can, in fact, become the very foundations for an unshakable spiritual strength and wisdom that transcends every conceivable obstacle. Milarepa's journey isn't just an ancient dusty legend. It's actually a dynamic, practical roadmap for navigating our own personal tests of endurance, revealing a powerful truth. It shows us, quite brilliantly, that life's most profound lessons and deepest insights frequently arrive wrapped up in its most demanding, soul-stirring trials. There's real gold in those tough moments. Before we plunge deeper into Milarepa's incredible story and unlock these timeless secrets, could you do us a huge favor? Please take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button. It helps us share more wisdom. Also, give this video a like if you're enjoying it, and drop a comment below letting us know what city and country you're tuning in from. Before Milarepa's name became synonymous with enlightened patience, he was known for far darker deeds. As a young man, driven by revenge, he delved deeply into black magic, unleashing devastating hailstorms and causing widespread destruction, even death. He carried an immense burden of negative karma, a crushing weight of profound guilt that gnawed at his very soul, haunting his waking hours. This heavy internal albatross propelled him on a desperate, urgent quest for purification and true liberation from the endless cycle of suffering he had initiated. He wandered from master to master, seeking solace, hoping to find a path to cleanse his past. Yet none could truly alleviate his deep anguish or offer a credible, tangible route toward genuine redemption and inner peace. His search felt fruitless, a cycle of false hopes and renewed despair, until a whisper reached him, a name that resonated with unusual power: Marpa, the renowned translator. This was no ordinary rumor. It stirred something primal within Milarepa, suggesting a profound shift was finally on the horizon, a chance at last to truly confront his karmic shadow. Milarepa's prior history, filled with such destructive actions, isn't just a backstory. It's the crucial foundation for everything that follows. It sets the stage for understanding the sheer depth of his desperation. He wasn't approaching Marpa out of mere curiosity or intellectual pursuit. His need was visceral, a raw, burning hunger to fundamentally transform his very essence, whatever the cost. This desperate drive, this profound urgency for internal change, made him an unlikely candidate for the trials to come. It wasn't about seeking comfort or easy answers. It was about burning away the layers of his past, This deep, unyielding resolve would be the silent fuel for the incredible resilience he was about to develop. A tenacity born from intense self-reproach. Knowing this, we can begin to appreciate the immense spiritual debt he felt compelled to repay. It wasn't just about escaping punishment, it was about earning forgiveness, both from others and, crucially, from himself. This background is key to grasping why he willingly, almost compulsively, stepped onto a path that would test the very limits of human endurance and patience. Milarepa finally stood before Marpa, a formidable master known for his strictness and a demeanor that was anything but welcoming. Marpa, whose penetrating gaze seemed to see right through to Milarepa's very soul, immediately recognized the young man's immense potential. However, he also saw the formidable weight of Milarepa's accumulated negative karma, a heavy spiritual burden. The guru, stern-faced, offered a profound yet conditional promise, the deepest, most esoteric tantric instructions. But this unparalleled wisdom came with a steep price. Marpa declared that Milarepa must first undergo an arduous period of relentless tests and physically exhausting manual labor. This, Marpa asserted, was essential to purify his grievous past actions. In what seemed like an unending cycle, Milarepa was repeatedly, painfully rejected for the spiritual initiations he so desperately craved. Despite his fervent pleas, his heartfelt expressions of remorse, and his visible suffering, Marpa remained unyielding. He seemed almost deliberately cruel, pushing Milarepa to the brink of despair with each refusal. Yet, Marpa's apparent harshness wasn't born of malice. In truth, he was meticulously assessing the profound depth of Milarepa's longing, his unwavering determination, and the sheer strength of his commitment to the spiritual path. He needed to be absolutely certain Milarepa possessed the inner fortitude required for the demanding journey ahead, beyond mere words. It's at this pivotal juncture that Milarepa's nascent patience truly began its agonizing, yet ultimately transformative testing. It wasn't just about waiting endlessly for Marpa's approval, as difficult as that already was. It was also about enduring profound, almost unbearable humiliation and performing backbreaking labor without any visible, immediate reward or recognition. This period laid the groundwork for the extraordinary resilience Milarepa would soon embody. Each rejection, each seemingly pointless task, chipped away at his ego and strengthened his resolve. He was being forged in a spiritual crucible, learning to find strength not in external validation, but in the unwavering commitment to his inner transformation, brick by painful brick. The first of Marpa's truly absurd demands came swiftly. He ordered Milarepa to construct a tower entirely by himself, at a very specific isolated location. Milarepa, his heart swelling with a desperate glimmer of hope that this was finally his path to the coveted teachings, threw himself into the monumental task with every ounce of his remaining strength and resolve. Day after arduous day, Milarepa hauled colossal stones, mixing mortar, tirelessly shaping and fitting each piece. His body screamed in protest, but his spirit, fueled by the promise of redemption, drove him onward. He visualized the completed tower as a gateway, believing each stone laid was a step closer to the profound wisdom he so fervently sought. He toiled tirelessly under the relentless sun and biting winds, his hands raw, his back constantly aching. Finally, after weeks of monumental effort, the tower stood almost complete, a rugged testament to his unwavering dedication. Exhausted but hopeful, Milarepa proudly presented his handiwork, anticipating Marpa's approval, perhaps even a hint of praise. Then came the crushing blow, delivered with Marpa's typical inscrutable demeanor. The guru inspected the towering structure, his expression unreadable, and then, without offering a single logical explanation, a single word of justification, he issued his soul-crushing command. Milarepa was to completely dismantle the entire tower, stone by painstaking stone. Not only that, but he was to return every single rock precisely to its original location. And then, as if to twist the knife further, Marpa instructed him to immediately begin constructing an entirely new tower, in a completely different, equally challenging spot. The sheer illogicality, the apparent pointlessness of it all, was absolutely bewildering. A powerful surge of frustration and profound perplexity engulfed Milarepa. What was this? Some sort of cruel, elaborate game? An unending punishment? His rational mind screamed for answers, for logic, for any explanation at all. But Marpa offered none, leaving Milarepa to wrestle with the overwhelming weight of his own growing despair and confusion. This agonizing, seemingly absurd pattern repeated itself with soul-crushing regularity. Milarepa built a second tower, then a third, each with unique, often complex, architectural designs, one circular, another triangular. Each monumental effort unfolded in a different, equally demanding valley, or atop a wind-swept mountain peak, requiring immense physical exertion. With every new construction, the labor remained Herculean, a brutal test of endurance. And each time, with a consistency that bordered on psychological torture, Marpa would arrive, inspect the finished work, and issue the same unyielding command: demolish it, return the stones, start again. It was a relentless cycle designed to break the ordinary person. Milarepa's physical body bore the stark, painful evidence of his torment. He developed deep, weeping wounds, excruciating blisters, and thick calluses on his hands. His back throbbed with chronic pain, and his mind, once filled with hope, became a churning maelstrom of gnawing doubts and existential questions. He truly approached the very precipice of utter despair. He found himself contemplating desperate measures: to flee Marpa's seemingly tyrannical demands, to simply vanish into the vast wilderness, or even, in his darkest moments, to succumb to the sweet release of death. The intense humiliation of being constantly observed by others, who undoubtedly viewed him as a pathetic fool toiling without purpose, was almost unbearable. Yet, astonishingly, instead of completely breaking under this relentless pressure, something profound began to shift deep within Milarepa's very being. He somehow transcended the initial surges of anger and the debilitating waves of frustration. With each heavy stone carried, then meticulously dismantled, he wasn't just purifying his external karma, he was deconstructing his very ego. He began shedding his expectations, his deeply ingrained attachment to tangible results. The virtue of Kshanti, active patience, began to take root within him, transforming into an unshakable fortress in his mind. He learned to persevere not despite the suffering, but brilliantly, profoundly, through it, forging an indomitable will. After what felt like an eternity, years filled with backbreaking, seemingly pointless labor, Milarepa reached a profound state. He was physically exhausted, true, but his mind had attained an extraordinary calm, and his once wavering determination had become utterly unshakable. He no longer questioned Marpa's bewildering commands, he simply executed them with serene resolve. Then, the moment finally arrived. Marpa, his stern facade replaced by eyes brimming with deep compassion and profound wisdom, finally broke his long silence. He saw that Milarepa had fully purified his past karma and had meticulously cultivated the deep patience and unyielding resilience absolutely essential for the advanced spiritual path he was about to embark upon. With a gentle, knowing smile, Marpa revealed the astonishing truth. The years of brutal, forced labor, the construction and demolition of countless towers, were never about building physical structures. They were, in fact, a meticulous, profound process designed specifically to purify the deep karmic stains from Milarepa's turbulent past and to forge an unshakable spiritual foundation. These weren't mere architectural projects, they were spiritual exercises in disguise, each stone a metaphor for shedding ego and attachment. Marpa explained that these seemingly cruel trials were crucial for building an internal resilience, a mental fortitude that would allow Milarepa to truly absorb and integrate the most profound and powerful tantric teachings without being overwhelmed. And so, the ultimate fruit of Milarepa's unparalleled patience was finally harvested. He was deemed ready. Marpa, with ceremony and deep reverence, bestowed upon him the sacred initiations and the secret instructions that Milarepa had so desperately, so patiently yearned for all those grueling years. His steadfastness had opened the door to ultimate wisdom. Milarepa, once a man burdened by darkness and revenge, now stood transformed. He became Marpa's foremost disciple, a revered yogi and an enlightened master, celebrated throughout history. His extraordinary legend stands as a beacon, illustrating how the most brutal, agonizing suffering can, with the profound power of active patience, be transmuted into the purest, most profound spiritual wisdom. Milarepa's extraordinary journey profoundly illustrates that patience, or Kshanti, is anything but a passive waiting game. It's a formidable, dynamic, and utterly transformative force, a potent blend of resilience, unwavering perseverance, and an unbreakable inner strength. He didn't just endure Marpa's bewildering, often agonizing commands. He actively transcended them, converting pain into purpose. He ingeniously transformed what seemed like senseless toil and profound futility into a powerful, clear pathway for deep purification, unparalleled wisdom, and an unshakable spiritual fortitude. It wasn't about avoiding the discomfort. It was about embracing it, working through it, and letting it refine his very being, polishing his soul until it shone brightly. Now let's take a moment and reflect on our own lives. What are your personal Milarepa towers right now? Is it that endlessly repetitive task at work that just grinds your gears? Perhaps it's the painstakingly slow process of truly mastering a brand new skill, one that demands constant, patient repetition and feels like it takes ages to click. Or maybe it's the persistent, demanding challenges within a significant relationship, or the incredibly complex, often exasperating journey of raising children. Could it be the agonizing, seemingly endless wait for an important result, or a major breakthrough that simply refuses to materialize on your timeline, testing your nerves to their absolute limit? Here's the profound insight. These aren't merely frustrating obstacles. They are, in fact, invaluable opportunities. Every single time we feel that familiar prick of impatience, that surge of frustration, or that powerful urge to simply throw in the towel, Milarepa's story vividly reminds us that we are standing right at a pivotal moment of deep, internal forging. Each instance we consciously choose to remain steady, to keep our minds calm, and to diligently continue with what needs to be done, we're actively constructing our very own tower of profound inner strength. We're not just building, we're meticulously deconstructing the hindering walls of our ego, our short-fused impatience, and those limiting, rigid expectations. Active patience, or Kshanti, brilliantly empowers us to see the immense value inherent in the entire process, not just obsessing over the final outcome. It teaches us a vital, liberating lesson, that suffering, when courageously confronted with the right, enlightened mindset, can indeed be a remarkably demanding yet ultimately unparalleled spiritual teacher. So, my dear friends, as Milarepa became an enlightened yogi, we too can, through consistently practicing active patience, transform our own adversities into solid foundations for a far more meaningful, conscious, and truly unbreakable life. Thank you so much for watching. What part of Milarepa's journey resonated most with you today? Share your thoughts below. Please like and subscribe for more Asian wisdom. Until next time.